checking the source is really important, and reading and watching laterally. I guess one of the questions that I have is, which it goes back to, I think, a question I've asked in other sessions, which is how often, if you're looking at a photograph or you're looking at a video, do you actually go and check the source? So let's say you're reading. How often do you do that? Once a week, once a day? Okay.
Well, it would
I'm
kind
probably,
of depend
go ahead.
on how important the image was.
That's a really good point. That
I
is a
mean,
really good point.
lots of stuff just flows by.
Right. Right.
But
I
every
think
so
that,
I photograph birds, so every so often somebody sends me a picture of a bird, and I don't know how many I've gotten something that has been, well, let's say colorized.
okay. Okay.
Apparently,
So,
the way God made it wasn't good enough.
okay. I think that's really a good point. Um,
It's not real important, but
well, it gives you some information about the reliability of a source.
and the
Sometimes
gullibility of my friends.
that's true. There's also that. And I will actually ask people if they've taken a particular picture. So, I will adjust the light. I'll use the little editing thing to adjust the light or other things so it looks the way I saw it through the camera, because the camera changes stuff. But I also will post unedited stuff. So it depends on what I'm doing and the reason for it. Let's talk for a few minutes about why we use pictures. And I'm actually going to let Charlie talk about this quite a bit, which is because Charlie does a lot of our social media research and she knows a lot more about it than I do. But our eyes are attracted to visuals. We have a lot of our brain power is in in the visual cortex. And so if you post pictures or videos with social media posts, you're going to get higher levels of clicks. And they know about that. And so sometimes you'll see a picture, and that's really where the picture and the caption, or the picture and whatever's posted with it, if they don't match, that's a really typical way of getting somebody in. So the picture looks a particular way and the caption incites you to think something. But if you read deeper, and this is where lateral reading or lateral watching is really important. Charlie, do you have anything you want to say about that?
Well, only that to keep in mind that the younger generations grew up using mobile devices and social media. That's their go-to start point, and that much of the social media platforms use algorithms to prioritize photos and videos, and to deprioritize, if that's a word, text-only posts. So folks who are trying to get information out in the widest audience are aware of that, and they tend to use videos and photos that really will grab you. And often that is what grabs the younger and younger generations, is the photo first or the video clip first, before they try and get to the context or what the actual story is about. And I do have to say, I've been caught several times looking at posts using videos and photos from many years ago and trying to make it relevant to whatever is happening now. So I've gotten better at looking at dates and sources. I think we have to start training up our own children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren that they can't, seeing is not necessarily believing, and that they should be very skeptical when they initially see something, especially if it comes through a source that they're unfamiliar with.
Yeah, I think that's really helpful. Go ahead.
My first check is confirmation bias. Do I have an instant urge to agree with it?
Mm-hmm.
And if I do, then I need to be twice as suspicious.
I think that's really a good point.
Link in the chat if you are, I could share it, or if you're willing to click on it and share it, I think you'll find it interesting.
Okay, let me find it.
It's just one up.
One up. Okay. Which face is real? No, that's there we
It
go.
says
Here we
this
go.
is one I had to track
Okay.
down.
Okay, there we go. Let me share my screen. This is what
Oh.
politicians debating global warming will look like soon. There we go. The image has gone viral in the past few days, and it's obvious why, with sea levels projected to rise up to 3 feet.
This one at least has a little bit of distance, is in that it doesn't claim that's the title of the work.
No,
I have
No,
seen
it
some
doesn't.
that did. And
Right.
they have, in fact, not got the artist's name right.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the things that I look at is the credit. So if you see a photo credit like this, then I look the artist's name up and make sure that they actually are a photojournalist or a photographer or an artist. And if I see a photo or an image that does not have a credit, that makes me doubt the veracity of its source. So if you just have a chart and it doesn't say where the information came from, then that's data that I might be suspect about.
So when I first encountered this, it was a meme with just the
Just the picture.
politicians debating global warming.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I saw that too.
But, you know, I didn't want to spend a lot of time trying to track it down while I'm trying to listen to you.
Right. No, this is great. And the other thing though is that's nice about this, that you've gone and done the work for us, is these are now clickable links. This is at least got the date, it's got the time, and it has the author's name, which if we click on her name, it'll also show what else she has written. What is interesting, depending on which source you're looking at, sometimes they don't say very much about the author. Did you want to say anything else about this picture, Carolyn?
No, I think that's not quite right on the artist's name. And the artist has done a whole series of little figures in water. It's just
Let's see if we can find the artist's name.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, wrong thing. Just a second. I gotta go back. Nope. I have too many windows open on my screen now. This is my problem. Okay, where did it go?
That's a really cool site.
Outsmarting Human Minds?
Mm-hmm.
This one, not that one. This is a really cool site. This is the Center for an Informed Public. And then this is how they do that. And then I am looking for Outsmarting Human Minds, which is a website that is quite cool and has lots of really good information. The one I wanted to point out to you guys today, and then I'll stop sharing my screen, is this 5-minute listen called The Attractiveness Halo Effect. And I'm going to stop, and the clip, and that will be shared in the screen. And what science has found is that if we think something looks beautiful or looks attractive, we often credit it with many positive characteristics that we might not otherwise do. So that is just one of the many little videos and audio clips that Outsmarting Human Minds has that talks about how our minds work and how we can retrain our minds. So for example, in terms of the attractiveness one, especially if you're talking about choosing political candidates or you're choosing job candidates, try to separate the data about the person from the person's image. And that's how we are recruiting for orchestras now in the United States, as people do their auditions from behind a curtain, and their resumes, they strip out any identifying information on the resumes. And that's the reason we now have more women and more people of color in orchestras than we did 40 years ago. So next time we are going to talk about other kinds of data and infographics. And We're going to talk about statistics and damned statistics and lies and all those things, but also we're going to talk about how to look at those different things. And one of the things that we probably will discuss in that episode is the whole issue of polls and how polls are reported on in the news and how careful we need to be about the news and understanding what polls mean. So these are the takeaways for today. You know, what is the evidence for the claim that's made in the post? Is the image actually relevant to the claim? Is it evidence-based and trustworthy? Does it support it? What's the image's context? And seeing does not equal believing. And so those are things that are very helpful for us to know about. And I want to thank everybody for coming today, and to see it again or to show this to other people. It's on the YouTube channel for our league. The slides and the links are also at our blog. And to continue the discussion, we have Facebook posts, and you will get an email with all the links from today. So